says expand video. There we are. There we go. That's better.
That is better.
Okay.
All right. Hello, everybody. I am Andy Harvo from the International Owl Center. I am the art contest coordinator and an educator here. And then
I am Joe Severson. I am also an educator, and I just like owl art.
So we are going to be talking about some of the art in our owl art auction. The fundraiser goes until April 2nd at 8 p.m. and that's when it will be done at U.S. Central Time. And we really wanted to show you guys these pictures because it really doesn't do them justice having the pictures online. They're really best in person. So we really wanted to show you guys on the camera and show off some of these details that may not have picked up in those original pictures. Now just a little bit about the art and our contest. The art pieces you're going to see today are all from our 2022 International Owl Art Contest for kids. It originally started in 2004 as a coloring contest, but over time it very quickly evolved into something a lot more competitive. And this has kids participating 18 and under from all over the world. So we get a ton of entries. In 2022, we got about 2,800 entries from 38 different countries. So it's pretty impressive. All the proceeds from this auction will be going to our future building and developing that. Our current facility really is a great place to have gotten started, but we are very quickly outgrowing it. We are working with our architect, DSGW, and the builder, Weiser Brothers, on getting kind of all our new ideas together as well as the previous work we've done to kind of get everything to fit together and work towards building that new facility. It'll be a better place for our owls as they won't have to commute to work anymore. It'll be a lot easier for our staff to give programs because we'll have separate spaces where visitors won't have to hear new visitors coming in and we won't be interrupted by the phone when it decides to ring. So it'll be a really nice space. It'll be a lot bigger, lot nicer for everybody involved. Plus there will be more than one toilet, which I think everyone will be super excited for. So we hope that this live stream will kind of give you guys a little bit of a better look at all this art we have. And we do ask that you bid generously. We couldn't do what we do without you guys. So we really appreciate you guys and hope to have a successful auction with you guys. So.
Yeah, well, behind us right now, you can see these are the winners from this past year's art contest. These are not going to be in the auction. What we have going on here, we've got our auction pieces, and we're just going to hold each one up and show a little bit about it, talk a little bit about it. I'm going to try my best to pronounce the names correctly, but because these entries are from all over the world, I may not get them all exactly right. So apologies in advance if I mess up some of these names. So the first one we have, this is from Valerie from Taiwan. And it looks like it's a family of burrowing owls, like our burrowing owl B. This is a really fun one. We've got a lot of expressions going on here. Anything you want to say about this one, Andy?
This one I think was from a school. They had a lot of these really fun designs with a lot of these neat curlicues and stuff in the background. They put a lot of detail into these pieces. Valerie is 13 years old. I don't remember if we said that, but so another really talented kid.
Yep, and this piece right now is going for, its current bid is $45, which I think is a steal. So that's definitely, well, all of these are worth a ton, but definitely worth quite a lot.
So this is our next piece. This is from Daria, and she's a 13-year-old from Russia. This piece is one of my favorites just because it reminds me so much of Rusty the Great Horned Owl, who passed away. Absolutely fun piece. Lots of really dark colors, but really vibrant when you get to the eye, and there's some really cool speckling and stuff in there. Joe, did you want to say anything?
It looks like it's a lot of acrylics. I'm not 100% sure what media are used in these pieces, but it's, yeah, a lot of those really nice, vibrant colors. And this piece is currently going at $60. All right, this one is from Savannah from Hong Kong. She is 13. We've got a cute little pair of barn owls having a little emotional deal here. This one I think is very, very nice. It really captures that those expressions that barn owls can get. They do a lot of this. Barn owls are very touchy-feely with their mates. They really like preening each other. They really like giving each other attention. And I think Savannah did an excellent job showing that with this particular piece. Right now, this one is at $30, which is a crime. Definitely should be more than that.
This one just always makes me think of Valentine's Day. It's just so cute.
Yep.
Did you look this one up?
That one is Jamelia.
Okay. So this is a student from Russia, age 9, and let's see if I can get that to show up. This one they did a ton of detail in there, lots of stuff, especially in the wings there, but down throughout this entire piece of the bird, and it's just a really, really fun piece to me.
It looks like it's like gel pen on black paper. It's a really cool technique that they're using here.
They really made it look like lace.
Yep. And this piece right now the high bid is at $55. All right. This next one is my personal favorite. This one is by Young from Korea, 16-year-old, I believe. And what this is depicting, you may have seen videos on the internet of something called the transformer owl. There's my face. And this is actually a behavior some owls do. So if you see this really tall, skinny one, this is a concealment posture. This is something that a small owl does if it sees a predator that's quite a bit larger than it. It really wants to make sure that nothing sees it, nothing comes and eats it. But if it sees a predator that's just a little bit larger, or if it's the same size, it does this big defense display, and it gets really, really poofy, really impressive looking. And I'm not sure what kind of owl this is supposed to be, but this is a pretty accurate depiction of what owls will do sometimes to keep themselves safe.
And the high bid for this one is $40 right now.
Yep.
So here's our next piece. I believe this is by Olivia, 11 years old from Slovakia. And this piece is really cool because it's actually a whole bunch of magazine clippings and stuff like that. So she put a lot of detail into this piece just using all those different magazine clippings and things like that.
And you can see if you want to zoom in on some of these other grass pieces, these magazines are in Slovakian. So so you can read some of those words that are definitely not in English. This one is high bid is at $40 right now. All right. This is another Valerie. This is Valerie W. She is a 13-year-old from Taiwan, and here we have another very cute pair of barn owls. This one feels like it's probably watercolor and watercolor pencil. I just kind of like the really interesting expressions these owls have on their faces. We've got this kind of really peaceful one here, and this one looks like it's just swallowed something really sour. But there's also a lot of little details in here that really don't show up very well in the photos that I really like to point out about this particular one. And right now, this piece is at $20, and it definitely could go for higher than that.
All right. So this one is from Yena, a 10-year-old in Hong Kong. So we've actually got a couple owls here. We've got these cute little ones up top here, and then we've got this nice big barn owl up here. It's hard to tell what these little guys up here are supposed to be, but they are pretty cute and nice to have in there. And they have a ton of different techniques in here. There's definitely watercolor.
It looks like some of this is gouache, which is a more opaque version of watercolor, which is kind of a pain to use. So I'm pretty impressed with this piece.
Yeah, they put a lot of work in it, and this piece is currently going for $50.
All right. Our next one is another one of my favorites. This is from Kim, a 12-year-old in Korea. I really like this one. I have a fondness for the really colorful, really intricate ones. But it looks to me like we've got two siblings here that are just really about to fight. And then mom or dad is here like, guys, just leave it be. But we've got some really cool expressions on these birds. These two are like, you want to go? You want to go? And this one's like, please, just leave it. There's a lot of details in here as well. We've got all kinds of backgrounds going on. This one appears to be acrylic paints as well. This one is at $50 right now.
I think one of my favorite things about this piece is all of the patterns they did for the feathers. It's kind of one of the more unique ways I've seen that done since I've been the art contest coordinator. Mm-hmm. So I did really enjoy this piece when I got it.
Yeah, and that's 10.
Alrighty. So, if you're just joining us, just a quick recap. We are going through the art on our spring fundraiser. Just kind of giving everybody a look so they can see what it looks like more than just what we have on the pictures for that. The fundraiser does run until April 2nd at 8 p.m. U.S. Central Time. And all of these pieces are from our 2022 International Festival of Owls Kids Art Contest. These are from kids 18 and under from all over the world. Last year we got about 2,800 entries from about 38 different countries. And all the proceeds from this auction are going to go towards building our new center, which will be very close by and will be a great help to us as it will give us a larger space and also allow our visitors and our owls to be more user-friendly for them.
User-friendly, I like that.
So let's go ahead and do our next piece.
Yeah, this one is from Amira, age 13, from Russia. Once again, we've got a lot of that kind of really intricate ink work. We've got a lot of kind of the Zen doodle techniques, if you've been interested in that before. We got a fair number of pieces similar to this last year, but this one really stood out. It just had a lot of the really cool details in there. You can see trees in the owl's face. It's holding a mouse down there. This is a really neat piece. And right now it is going at $45.
All right, here's our next piece. I'm gonna butcher it.
This kid's name is Ruahan. And they are from where?
Shanghai, China, and 8 years old. So this is a really fun style, really cartoony. Looks like they used like pens or markers or something along that line. But it's a really cute little office scene. We've got a doctor up here, and we've got kids getting checked in on. So this is a really cute one. We've got some little viruses over there being all interesting. And lots of writing, which we did not translate before we decided to show these off. Sometimes we try to do that, but this is a really fun, really cute little piece here. And this one is currently going for $25.
All right, next we have this very, very cute piece from Miss Pichapa from Thailand. She's 10 years old. And it's just kind of a cool little show. We've got a little girl in the corner, and she's got a, whoa, the screen is doing something weird. That's interesting. She's got a flashlight, and it's shining into the woods here, and she's lighting up a bunch of different little owls. We've got some owls hanging out with each other. We've got somebody sleeping up there in the corner. In the darkness, you can see some other things going on. Not as many owls that are visible in the darkness, but we do have a couple that are showing up there. But this is a really fun way to show that, you know, these creatures are out there, and you might not notice, but they're still hanging out there.
And this piece is going for $30 currently.
Yep.
All right, here's our next one. This is by Lori, 14-year-old from Pennsylvania here in the U.S. This one
Unusual.
looks, yes. This one looks like it's done with colored pencil. We have a barn owl snagging a mouse in there. Really, really detailed, especially when you look at those wings. She did a fantastic job getting the colors in there, getting the details on the face, and even getting details on the mouse there. It's just a really fun piece, and it is currently going for $50.
Here's another local one. This is from Alan. He's 11 and he is from California. This one is kind of an abstract one, and I kind of like how kind of weird it is, but also you can definitely tell that we've got a pair of owls here. We've got one which kind of has this like hair, and I really like that. And we've got this other one sitting on the branch on this side. This appears to be markers, pens and markers, and there's a lot going on here. Definitely a cool piece that could show off some of your more artsy side. This one is going for $30 right now.
All right. Here's the next piece. Did you look?
Manasa.
Manasa. Okay, that's what I would have guessed.
Yeah.
But so this is from Manasa, 15-year-old from Texas here in the U.S. And do you know what that material might be?
It looks like oil pastel. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, oil pastel. I would believe that. It definitely has a look like that. But they did a great job getting in the details on the feathers, especially on the face there. It's really impressive just how much work went into this piece. And even in the background there, you'll notice there's some different colors and things like that. So this is a really fun piece, currently going for $60.
Next up, we have Emma from Lithuania. Emma is 11, or was when they entered this particular piece. We've got a nice, really nice, simple kind of drawing, painting of a barn owl. But what I like about this one is there's a lot of actual texture in here, which really doesn't show up in a picture. But it looks like they've used acrylic paints or something like that to get some textures in these clouds that really doesn't come across. But we've got this really nice barn owl face as it's flying through the sky here. This one is going for $50 right now.
All right, here's our next one.
This is Xiang Yu.
And they are a kid from Taiwan. They were 11 years old when they did this piece. And I think this one's really fun because of just how many flags they put in there. I mean, it's all over the place. So it's really cool to see them kind of bring in that unity. Owls are everywhere except Antarctica. So this is a really fun piece. And they did get a lot of details in there. This one looks like it's got some watercolor, maybe some markers. So a lot of really fun stuff in this one as well. It is currently going for $30.
Next we have what very possibly is the oddest one that we have. This one is from Reşat, from Turkey, age 17, and believe it or not, this is all colored pencil. There is no paint on this piece at all. This is entirely colored pencil, which I think is very impressive. You get some of these gradients in here. You've got the mushrooms on top. And let's talk about this. We got to talk about the intestines. What is going on in this kid's head? I don't know, but I kind of like it. So I really do like how tricky can be to really blend in a lot of those colors, but you get a lot of really cool gradients going on in this particular piece. It's a larger one. It is square, so you'd have to find a different sized frame for it or get it custom framed. This one is currently going at $40.
And next is this one right here. Oh,
this is from Buruk.
They are a 13-year-old, or were a 13-year-old from Turkey, maybe 14 now, But this one's really cool. It's really kind of surreal. We've got kind of crystalline and more leafy structures in there. Lots of really fun colors with some purples and pinks and browns and greens. Lots and lots of detail in this one as well. And it does look like this one is colored pencil, which is just really neat. And they got some gradients. It's hard to see, but they do have some gradients, especially in this eye here. All kinds of really neat stuff going on in this piece. And it is currently going for $30.
And that's another 10.
All right. So, again, if you're just joining us, this is to showcase all of the owl art we are auctioning off in our spring art auction. This fundraiser does go until April 2nd at 8 p.m. U.S. Central Time. It's to help build up funds for our new building that we are working on building. We actually are currently still very much in the design phase, working with our architect, DSGW, and our builder, Weezer Brothers, in order to get all of our new ideas and all of our old ideas kind of working together cohesively. All of the art here is from our 2022 OWL art contest we do with kids 18 and under from all over the world. So we really appreciate these kids. We really appreciate you guys. So do please bid generously.
All right, next up is a really fun, really colorful piece from Ayla, age 9, from the Slovak Republic. This one really caught my eye. I think it's just got some really neat colors. And I had to look at it quite a bit to actually see what was going on here. Because you've got the whole thing is an owl, but if you look really closely, it turns out it's actually really kind of a complicated technique. It looks like it's on white paper, which they then covered with all these different colors, and then they had stamps of different sizes that they used to make these black shapes. At least I think that's I think that's what's happening. Or it may be some kind of relief cut. Of sort of work. It's just a really interesting piece. There's a lot of character in this particular one. A lot of, I think our video is going kind of wonky, but that's all right. A lot of color, a lot of personality in this one. This one is currently at $50.
This is our next piece from Emang. Yep. Sorry. I apologize for any butchering of words I do. They are a 7-year-old from China, and this is just a really fun piece. Looks kind of like watercolors, maybe some other stuff in there too. But we've got these really, really cute feathers up on the owl's head. Flowers.
Yeah, you said feathers.
Oh, I thought I said flowers, but flowers. I mean, there is a lot of detail in the feathers and stuff too. So this is a really fun, really cute piece, going for $45 currently.
Next up, we have a piece from Xinyi, age 9, from China. This is another oil pastel piece. Kind of a neat look to this one. We've got a lot of oranges and yellows in the background here, and then a very orange and yellow owl. And it's got kind of a fun expression. It's just kind of like, whoa, hello. So there's a lot of really interesting shapes in this one. This one is currently going for $40.
Here's the next piece. Did you look that one up?
That one, seems like it's fairly straightforward.
Well, I've seen that, and then
mock.
Yeah.
Apologies again if we got that wrong.
14-year-old from Hong Kong. This is another really detailed piece. It feels like it might be oil pastels or chalk or something like that, but really a lot of detail in the face. Trying to tell if I don't know my foreign owls as well. Joe, do you have a guess what owl that might be?
I suspect it's a pygmy owl of some kind.
But it is a very cute little owl. Again, lots and lots of detail in that face. So really impressive. And this piece is currently going for $50.
All right, next up we have our hottest bidding item so far. This is from Yuns, who is a 9-year-old from China. This one, again, we have a lot of oil pastels. I just really like how intense the expression is of this bird. It's just really, really nice. I think this would look very cool on somebody's wall. This one currently is at $200. So if you want this one, you probably should get in on that bidding war real soon.
This one's from another Olivia C., 13-year-old from Taiwan. Again, in that really fun style, with looks like some pastels and maybe some watercolor or something like that. This one looks like a white-faced owl of some sort.
Yeah, that's a white-faced owl.
White-faced owl. One of my favorite things about this piece is the feet, just because they are kind of fun and funky with that little extra toe right down there. But a really fun piece, lots and lots of detail, especially, again, in those feathers and in the face, which is all just very, very impressive. So this piece is currently going for $40.
Next up we have Nimitra, who is also 9 years old from Thailand. This one has a lot of expression in it. We've got a family of owls here. It looks like it's a found family. They may not be related, but there's clearly something going on here. We've got a lot of details here. This is another watercolor or gouache one. I'm not skilled enough to tell which is which, but once again, both kind of tricky media to work with. And they signed it down here in the bottom.
And actually, this one does have the title of the piece on the back, Memories of Family Owls. So.
Yeah, this one's going pretty high right now. This one is at $80 right now.
Here's our next piece from Remnant Flame, 18 years old from Taiwan. This one's just a really fun piece. It's got owl right on there. You've got this cool owl right in the middle and some feathers there. Again, just kind of a really fun piece here for everybody to get to see. Nice little piece, but a really fun piece. This one is currently going for $30.
Now we have another one of my favorites. This is from Liu, age 17 from Taiwan. We don't get, most of our art that we get in the art contest is square or rectangle. We don't get a lot of these circular ones, and I think this is a really neat idea. This one, again, I think is gel pen of some kind on that black paper, and this is actually showing a, whoa, I keep turning it the wrong way. There we go. This is actually showing a photo, or it's related to a photo of a screech owl, I believe it was a screech owl, that went completely blind, and it looks like it has galaxies in its eyes. So this is based on an actual real live owl, but I think they pulled this one off really, really well. This one is currently going at $45, and I think that's my bid, so you want to outbid me on this one because I really, really like it.
All right. Our next piece from Celeste, 8 years old from California here in the U.S. This is a beautiful piece with some snowy owls. I would assume this one is acrylic. Joe can prove me wrong.
Looks like it, yeah.
But it looks like a really nice painted acrylic piece. Again, lots of details in there. We've got the one snowy owl that's a lot more pale, another one that's darker, and they have this really fun gradient going on in the eyes there, kind of a greenish tinge to them. But very fun, very good piece. This one is currently going for $95. So this is a really, really appreciated piece as well.
And that one, for whatever reason, it doesn't look a lot like it, but for some reason it really reminds me of John James Audubon's painting of the snowy owls. It's different poses, but it has the same kind of feel to it. And that's another 10. So I've taken over for Andy since she needs to go and drink some water. But this art auction is to benefit our future facility. We're doing decently well in the building that we have right now, but there are some drawbacks. We only have one acoustic space, so when a visitor comes in or when the phone rings and we're doing a program, it's all out there. We're hearing everything. We have one bathroom, which has backfired in the past. We've had to send people over to the library across the street when that backed up. So it'd be nice to have a permanent facility that we can have that actually fits our needs, and that's what this option is going to benefit. Again, it'll be running through tomorrow. That's April 2nd. Today's April 1st. April Fools, not a joke, at 8 p.m. Central Time, U.S. Central Time, and definitely try and get your bids in there because I think these are going to go really high.
So here's our next piece. Looks like a Rada, 9 years old, from Thailand. This piece is really fun. I think it's acrylic again. But this one just reminds me of those Russian nesting dolls so much, which I always just found really fun. And they got a lot of details in all of these, even the smaller one. And even in the background, they've got kind of this fun florally pattern going on. But this one's just a really, really fun piece with that nesting doll feel. It is currently going for $80.
I also like to point out that each of the owls has something different in its eyes, which is pretty cool. All right. Next up, we have Defne, age 13, from Turkey. This is a really interesting piece, and this one we had on the wall for for the same amount of time that the rest of them were. But a lot of people commented on this one because it doesn't come across in the picture, but in person, it really looks three-dimensional. It's got a lot of those really nice shines, the undertones of different colors. It looks like it's three-dimensional. And a lot of people commented on that. And to be fair, if we look at the paper, it is a little bit warped, but I think part of that's just because this kid spent a lot of time really making sure that those colors got blended in there really well. It looks like it is some watercolors, maybe some watered down acrylics, but there's a lot going on in this particular piece. It is currently going for $35. Oh, I like that one.
This one is by Ling, 13 years old, from Texas, here in the U.S. This piece, it looks like it's kind of a mix of chalk, maybe some colored pencils or oil pastels or something like that. But they got, again, just a ton of detail. There's all these stars right back in here. The face is really on point. Just a really, really cool piece. And actually, we had a winner very similar to this, but this one is much smaller, much nicer to hang on your wall in some respects. But this piece is currently going for $75.
All right, next up we have a piece from Sofia from Serbia. She's 13, and this one is very interesting to me because it's all number 2 pencil. This is pretty standard equipment for a kid going to school, and the fact that Sophia happened to use that as her medium, I think, was very, very neat, very interesting. But you've got a lot of shading up in the corners here. You've got a lot of details in the owl's face. This is very clearly a great horned owl, based on the largest, most common, at least, owl in this area. You've got a lot of details in the vermiculation is the technical term for these patterns here. And as another artist, I find this kind of pattern incredibly difficult to duplicate. So I'm very impressed by this particular piece. And it is currently going for $50.
Oh, Joe's going to have to pronounce
You want me to say
one.
that one?
Yeah, I butcher this one every time I try to say it.
I had to find a tutorial for this one. This one's fun. This person's name is Urte.
And they're a 12-year-old from Lithuania. I really love this piece because it does seem to have like looks like Sharpie or some other kind of pen, but then it looks almost like we've got some watercolors or those watercolor pencils that Joe was talking about earlier. And they still got a ton of detail in here. We've got a lot of detail in the face, in the body of the owl, and in that background as well. So just a lot of really, really cool details in this one. This one is currently going for $55, which honestly I think is kind of low for this one. It's a really cool piece.
Yep. Our next one is this lovely owl by Rhythm, age 13 from India. Age 12, well, though she's 13 by now. This one is a cool piece to me because it's got this really interesting composition. You've got the owl on the one side, you've got these flowers on the other side. The owl actually is carrying a little scroll in its beak. And then we've got the night sky in the back. And what this reminds me of is like being in a spaceship and you're looking out this porthole and you're just seeing the sky go past as you're in that spaceship. This is a pen and ink piece. Looks like we've got a little bit of white paint or white ink in the eyes. It's also on Bristol board, so it's a pretty sturdy piece of paper. And this one is going for $30 right now.
All right, here's our next piece. This is by Ernesto, a 12-year-old from Scotland. Kind of a fun yin and yang piece, but we've got these nice, looks like hibiscus flowers around the outside. Just this really, really nice, subtle, very pretty piece. And this one is currently going for $50.
And that one is, it looks like some kind of art marker. So this kid, the fact that Ernesto was willing to either shell out the money to get those markers or find somebody who had them tells me that they're probably going to have a pretty cool career going forward in art.
Looks like there might even be some highlighter in there on some of those details. That's a fun piece.
This one, we don't get, most of our entries are traditional art, meaning paint or markers or ink. This particular one is a digital piece. So the Korea, I believe, age 12 from Turkey, used some kind of computer program to make this particular piece, whether it's Photoshop, whether it's Paint Tool Sai or something like that. Used some really interesting textures in here. We've got the feathers flowing around the edge of the piece, and then you get into the face. We've got some really nice details on the face. You can see those rictal bristles around the face here. It also looks like a little bit like it has a cat ear, which I think is very cute, because a lot of people do kind of associate owls with cats. This particular piece is going for $55.
One of my favorite things about this piece that may not be showing up is actually if you look at those rictal bristles and all the feathers around here, they've got really subtle differences in color. It's this really pastel, almost rainbowy color to them. And you can see some other different gradients in color with some of those other feathers and stuff in there too. So that's a really, really fun piece. Here's our next piece from Ilaria, 10-year-old from Singapore. This piece is it makes me think of hot and cold. We've got the red, that nice kind of sunsetty color, and then the blue, a more daytime color. But in the background where it gets white, there's actually all kinds of little dots. They put a little bit of a night sky in there, and we've got kind of a little farm scene down here too, all incorporated with this owl. So I find this a really fun piece, and this one is currently going for $30.
That's a steal. That definitely could go for higher. All right, this one we had a little bit of confusion on because the label says Sichuan, but the name on the back was Amy. So Amy did a really good job. She's age 9 from the USA. Did we get a specific place? California. And this one was up on the wall for a while, and people really, really looked at this one a lot. I think it just has some really cool motion going on in the piece, holding on to this little orb down here, a nice snowy owl. This is colored pencils as well. I just really like the kind of movement going on in this particular piece. This one is currently going for $25.
All right. So, again, if you're just joining us, we are just going through the art from our spring auction fundraiser. This is all to build up funds, a fund for our new building, which we are currently working on with DSGW and Weezer Brothers to get all of the ideas we've had together. This would give us a larger space that would be more user-friendly for our visitors as well as our staff and owls. One of the big things being more than one bathroom, which has definitely impacted us a lot in the back, or in the past. But we are really thankful for the space we have, really thankful for you guys and everything you've already done for us, and really looking forward to what we can do in the future. So we do ask that you bid generously. We really, again, appreciate everything that you guys do for us. And we just hope that you guys get to see some of these really cool pieces, because the pictures just don't do them justice, and this gives us a chance to show you some of the really fun details that just don't pop up in those pictures. So this auction will run until tomorrow, April 2nd at 8 p.m. U.S. Central Time. So let's go ahead and...
Well, I was thinking, Andy, before we get to this last stack of 10, do you want to talk a little bit about the art contest itself?
Yeah, that's a good idea. So the International Owl Art, Kids Owl Art Contest has been going on as part of our International Festival of Owls since about 2004. It actually started as a coloring contest originally, and then over time just evolved and became something so much bigger and so much more. We get art entries from kids 18 and under from all over the world. It's really mind-blowing where we get these places on. I know Joe finds it a great geography lesson because they make a map for us every year where we got them from.
Where are the Maldives? I had to figure that out.
So in 2022, we got 2,800 entries from about 38 different countries, and all of the art entries we are showing you today are from that 2022 contest. And if you visited us in the past, you may have seen them up on the wall as part of our staff picks. The ones behind me are currently winners. They are not for auction, but you can see a lot of really, really cool entries in these pieces that we are auctioning off for you today.
And Andy, if kids are interested in entering the art contest, how would they do that?
That is a great question. If you or someone you know would be interested in doing our art contest in the future, you can find all of the instructions on our International Festival of Owls website, right in the art contest tab. Now it's currently saying that it's closed because it's from our 2023 contest, which has already been judged, but we will post those updated instructions in actually before August. Usually June or July is when we try to have those posted, and then we start accepting entries in August and accept those entries until January 15th. Kind of the big thing that kids need to know is you do need to have an owl in it. If it doesn't have an owl, it's not going to count. The art does need to get sent to us. We can't accept emailed entries because, again, we're already getting over 2,800 entries. If we accept email entries, I will never ever have anything else to do in my life. So we don't accept email entries unless there's very extenuating circumstances. And those are kind of the big things with that. And we'll have all the submission forms and stuff up there, again, probably by about June, July. So if you or someone you know is interested in participating, just check out that International Owl Festival website, that nice art contest tab.
All right, we'll get back to our auction pieces here. This one is from Hiranika, or Hiranika, age 13, from Thailand. There is a lot going on in this piece. This one is a lot of colored pencils and some inks, but we've got a really cool night scene with an owl sitting on a branch in front of, looks like a field of some kind, with these nice lanterns floating around in the background, some beautiful orchids or other kind of flowers in the foreground. And let's get up a little closer and look at some of those details. We've got the lanterns up here. You can see that that owl has a really neat little expression on its face, and it almost looks like there's a little temple in the background here. We've got building on the side, and then those flowers at the bottom.
I also like all the fields and stuff that are going on in the background there.
Yeah.
It's a really, really unique piece.
Yeah, and this one is currently going for $45.
Here's our next piece from Lucida. 13-year-old from California here, right in the United States. This is a really fun piece, just because, to me, this owl is so fluffy. It reminds me of saw-whets that are trying to keep warm because it's so cold out. But I think she just did this with what looks like ballpoint pen or some other pen, and maybe a little bit of marker in the branch there. But this is a really, really fun piece, and currently going for $130. Very well done there.
This is a very popular one as well. I like that one because it kind of looks like a thumbprint, like a really, really big thumbprint from a really big person. Next up we have, let me scroll this here. We've got a piece from Alina, my apologies, age 12 from Russia. Once again, we've got that kind of a Zen doodle or Zentangle technique going on here. A lot of the neat, really, really intricate details going on. But this one is on a blue background, so I thought that kind of brings out, you can actually see we've got some white detailing in here as well, so it shows up against that blue background. We've got the really close details on that face of this owl. We've got a lot of little swirls in the belly, and I just really like, especially the gradient that's going on here. That's tricky to do with pen. That's very tricky to do with this media. This particular piece is going for $40, and I think it definitely could be going for higher than that.
All right, here's our next piece by Raphael, age 4, from Hong Kong. Now, Raphael, I'm pretty sure he had a little bit of help with this. I don't know that a 4-year-old can do those straight of lines. But this is a really fun acrylic piece that seems like lots of really subtle little details in there, but a really, really fun piece by Raphael. This one is currently going for $75 and just a really fun, really cute little piece. Well, big piece.
It's fairly big, yeah. This one is from Christine from Hong Kong. Christine was 7 years old, and this is just a really cute little piece. I love this owl. I love this little butterfly that's sitting on its head. I love the weird little antennae that it has. Kind of reminds me of a moth, or like the owl is kind of a butterfly itself. This one appears to be acrylics as well. We've got just a really cute little expression on this owl's face. It's a little bit, not quite as vibrant of colors in the view, but it does pop quite a bit more in person. And this one is currently going for $45.
Yeah, the expression on that one is just so cute. It's just like, oh, that's interesting. All right, here's our next piece from, looks like Arya, 12-year-old from Thailand. This one is a really fun piece. It looks like it's kind of mixed medias again. I think there's maybe some watercolor in there, some other things, and then we've got pen in there too. And it's a mama owl going and protecting her babies from the storm. There's a lot of rain details that are coming in. You can really see it on the head of her, and even a little bit on her back there as well.
You can see the puddles.
Yep, down in the bottom you can see the puddles, the ripples there, and there again are those little babies. And I love the little pink detail right around the babies' heads, making almost kind of a heart shape around them. So this is a really, really cool piece. She did a great job. And this piece is only going for $30. That is a steal.
Here we have another one of my favorites. This one is from Nathaniel, age 14, from Indonesia. We've got some really interesting stuff going on here, because we have an owl, obviously, but then there's more owls. So around the edge, we've got these owl faces. And these themselves are really, really well done. We've got the facial disc, you've got those bristles around the face as well. But they create this silhouette, this outline of another owl. And in that outline, you can see the night sky. We've got this, looks like a road kind of a road going through the forest at night. And you've got a lot of really nice details in here. You've got a lot of stars. This one appears to be acrylics as well. Again, this is a fun medium. This is a really popular one for kids to use because you get a lot of those really vibrant colors. This type of technique here, this is often accomplished, that splatter technique, it's often accomplished by getting paint, a little bit of watered down paint on a toothbrush and then going like just kind of flicking it over the art, and I think that's a really cool effect here. This one is going for $50.
All right, here's another piece. Was it Emma?
Emma.
11-year-old from Lithuania. This one looks like it's also just with a number 2 pencil graphite. And we've got this really cool, like, kingly owl with kind of an Illuminati symbol on the tummy there. But lots of detail in here, especially when you go down by the feet where you can see a lot of the shading. You've got some cool shadows in there. Just a lot of detail in this piece, this very kingly owl. This piece is currently going for $55.
Now, this next one I think is probably Andy's favorite.
Yes.
This one is from Guksu, which is a really fun name because it's got the little umlaut over the O, Guksu. And this is a barn owl. This appears to be both oil pastel and probably a little bit of chalk. And those are very messy, but it doesn't come across like I've been kind of touching this one for a while, and it hasn't been rubbing off on me, which is great. But we've got a little barn owl, and it just looks so serene. It just looks so peaceful, kind of taking a nap, but it's also got its head tilted like it's listening to something. We've got the cityscape in the background. Anything you wanted to say about this one?
So one of my favorite things about this piece is it does have a lot of subtler color details, especially when you look in the body of the barn owl. So especially if you look at the wings here, at the feet, that doesn't show up super well in that there are some like really fun gold colors in there too that just the light needs to catch them just right. I think I'm currently the highest bid at $35 right now. But I'd love to see this piece go for more because it is absolutely one of my favorites that we've had. So here is our next piece from Crystal, age 14 from Canada. We've got this really pretty snowy owl with a key in its beak. It's actually standing on the world, but it also has a little world in its one eye. So this is kind of one of those cool cosmic owls. This one, again, kind of a mixed media. Looks like it's maybe some watercolor, some acrylic, some colored pencil. So lots of really, really cool details. And even in the body and where that key is hanging, you can see a lot of really, really fun details. She did a great job. And this piece is currently going for $45.
And this one for the last year has been hanging near our world map. So it seemed appropriate with the globe in the background. This next one, we're getting up to the last few of them. This is from Yui, age 16 from Taiwan. This piece is phenomenal. It's another one of our really high bidders. I wonder if I can move this just a little bit so you can see some of the techniques going on here. This looks like it's watercolor and probably a little bit of gouache going on here. But there's a lot of really interesting details. We've got this really kind of stoic looking owl here, just looking to the side, saying, yep, this is my spot. I just love the colors. I love the kind of way it dissolves at the bottom here. And like I said before, watercolor and gouache are very tricky materials to work with. So I'm always really impressed when I see a kid do something like this. This particular piece is currently at $110.
And here is our final piece. It's a really big one. This is Olga, age 16 from the Ukraine. So if you...
Sorry, just Ukraine.
Oh, yes, just Ukraine. I'm sorry. Yes, just Ukraine. Olga, 16, from Ukraine. This one, if you tried to participate in one of our Ukrainian art auctions in the past and you didn't quite manage to snag a piece, this may be an option for you. This is also one of my favorite pieces just because it is so neat. You've got kind of this owl body here going up into, it reminds me of almost a river delta or something like that, and then a bunch of little owls up in there as well. And then you've got a ton of detail down here on the stump that this owl body is standing on. So really big, beautiful piece from Ukraine that is currently going for $50.
This one makes me think of like a thunderbird for some reason, because this reminds me a lot of lightning, and what doesn't come across in the picture is that all of these are incredibly shiny. You might be able to see it if we kind of tilt the page there, but the background, the lines here, this looks like water or colored pencil, but these appear to be metallic markers of some kind. I just really like the effects on this one.
And they got a really cool gradient both down here where it's kind of this darker purple. It's really hard to see, but there are a lot of different colors in there making up that color gradient. And that actually goes up into these bluer and greener areas as well, though it's hard to see. Again, a lot of these pieces, they're best appreciated in person. So if you saw a piece you think you really like, definitely get on there and get bidding.
And if you're looking for the link to that, that should be posted in our chat for this Facebook Live event. If you can't find that, it is also at the word spelled out .bidpal.net/kidsowlart. And this will be going through tomorrow, April 2nd at 8 p.m. U.S. Central Time. That's what it is.
Yep. And if for whatever reason you're having troubles typing in that link, it is also on our International Owl Center website, and you can find the link right there. If you want more information on that future facility or any of the other things we've talked about today, you can also find those on that website or on our International Owl Festival website if you're interested in that kids art contest and seeing some more of the winners up on that site as well. So with that, thank you guys so much for joining us. Again, we really appreciate you guys, everything you do for us, for bidding on this. We hope you bid generously, and again, really, really just appreciate you guys for everything you do for us.
That was incredible timing. That was exactly an hour.
How did we do that?
How we managed that. That was very cool. Well, all right. Thank you all. We will probably have something else going on tomorrow to just kind of go over some of the pieces again and kind of really show people what these pieces look like.
Yep, but in case we don't, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate you guys again. Bye.
Bye.